Hello, everyone. Wondering where I was. Good morning, Andrew, Jake, all the way. Let's make sure everybody knows training is tomorrow at 11 a.m. byoq. Bring your own questions, personal, professional, funding, pitching, whatever it is. I will leverage all the situational knowledge, advice, and dummy tax that I have. Good morning, Mia. Welcome. Always make my day. Let's pin up how you can get a hold of me if you want my free books, free training to register, free guides, exercises, etc. 949-298-2905. David@dmeltzer.com. Go ahead, reach out to me anytime. That'd be great. Looking forward to it. Well, let's get the questions moving. Good morning, Chairman Lee. Welcome. Welcome, Tessa. Welcome. Good morning. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know if you're going to come to my training tomorrow, byoq. And if not, let me know if you're going to see the replay on the playbook. If you haven't checked out the playbook, check it out. We have over 400 episodes with anybody that you can think of. Dugout mugs in the house, my favorite. Killing it with the MLB, the high quality collectible mugs that are made of baseball bat barrels and openers and everything. Training byoq. All right, the questions are pouring in. I'm daydreaming here. Sorry. If you could go back and ask Albert Einstein one question, what would it be? About time, right? I want to know about the relativity of time, alternative universes. I want to know why that is and how that works in those multiple dimensions and what happens to things that move at the speed of light, which is obviously vibrational. So I'd like to know that awareness that he had ascertained from understanding time. And I think that's why his brilliance is still renowned. Ironically, I use him as an example of people that laugh at you, scoff at you, make fun of you, and then they applaud you, like Disney and Einstein, these unbelievable men in the whole world. If you do word association and you use in word association the word genius, over 99% of the people will say Einstein in a word association. But yet Einstein was ostracized, made fun of, laughed at, scoffed at for over 10 years just by the physics community after he created E equals MC squared. So if you're worried about what other people think, don't. Because Einstein didn't. Disney didn't. You have to find your own frequency, find your own answers. And that may be one of the best questions I've seen in a long time. Thank you, by the way. What was your biggest takeaway after you first time reading Think and Grow Rich? I don't know what I don't know. First time I read Think and Grow Rich, I realized I didn't know. There were so many things that were not congruent with the way I was acting, right? And activity creates emotion, right? Because activity creates energy and motion. That's activity. So activity and emotion are synonymous with one another, which allows you to be enthusiastic, right? Activity creates emotion, which allows you to be enthusiastic, connected to God, source, energy, light. Inactivity creates boredom. Which one do you want? That's why I believe in activity I get paid for, activity I don't get paid for, and hope the same. Looking on here, my friend Tanya should be on here, has a great cause that we're working with and to help Pencils of Promise. So Tanya, hopefully you're here. Let me see if I can get you to join. My boy Jakey Bakey sets these things up and allows people to come in. Let me know if you want to go live with me, David@dmeltzer.com. Let me know, text and join my community, 949-298-2905. Join me at those numbers to go live with me, join office hours, make requests, take my exercises for free, the ultimate ego, the pitch exercises, the selling, the 5 to Thrive, whatever it is, I'll give it to you. Register for free training. If you missed the free training, register and download the podcast, the playbook. All of these are available. Just ask Kate. She's on here with the big pink heart. And she's an amazing person. What's the best question you've been asked in an interview? Definition of happiness, I think, is always the best question. enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential. Advice for salespeople: yes, credibility is number one. Remember, 80% of the people that you're trying to get to won't answer you. So be an expert at getting people to call you back, email you back, text you back, get back to you. Okay? So those are two really quick pieces of sales advice. People, you can't sell an answering machine either. Somebody sent me a voicemail to be left, and I was like, I would not aligned with what I do, right? Like, not interested in getting to people. I want them to call me back. I want to be able to transition interest to show my credibility, the emotional attachment that we can have, quantify the reasons, impacts, and capabilities. None of that happens because the only way it happens is by being more interested than interesting and asking open-ended questions and learning, right? We can't just tell people features and benefits and think that that's going to wear well in the long run. Not going to happen. Trust me, I've been through it. Nobody can push that down harder than me, but I don't do it anymore. What is the most important lesson you have learned so far this week? The most important lesson I've learned this week is why brands grow and why only a few people's brands will grow. And it's really simple in my mind. This is the best lesson that I've learned. If you want to build a brand, product, solution, service, or your personal brand, the problem is you have to put up so much content. You have to put up so much repetitive content. You have to talk about the same things and do the same things and put up so much content that the people who already love you and like you, they're going to get bugged by you. You and like you are going to tell you too much, too much. And 99% of the 99% are going to listen and they're going to stop because it's also hard, etc. Tanya.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am good. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
You know what? Technical difficulties on this thing are so much better than technical difficulties in real life. Right? We forget about being like stuck at the airport or, losing a bag or forgetting a microphone.
Exactly.
So waiting, a few minutes for someone that's as wonderful as you doing such wonderful work, not a problem. We got plenty of time. But we do like this instant gratification lifestyle. We lose track. Everyone's like, oh my God, I'm 3 minutes late to be in there, right? And I'm like, not a big deal. I'll wait for you. Anyway, Pencils of Promise. I've been working with so many different organizations because I think, the educational system of ours is being rethought and that we really have to have focus on making sure we're empowering children to be educated in this new way. And it may be, we call it a new way. I think it's a long awaited way. I think we're going to have a hybrid. I think we have lost out because of our traditional systems of education. We've lost out to a lot of kids, and it's helped me because in essence, I'm an online educator of entrepreneurs and business school and law and all the things I've experienced. But, even my 10-year-old, I'm watching, I said, gosh, it would be really nice that we had a system where the kids could socialize, but I could shove 10 times the amount of content at him a day, allow him interact at his speed, get instant results, right? So instant feedback, not, oh gosh, I forgot to give the red marks and the stars. Look, we could give super videos if you do well and encouraging videos if you don't do well, and instantly, and these kids could learn so much more and expand and accelerate. So give me a little bit of background on how you came up, number one, with the idea of the Pencils of Promise, and a little bit about what we can do today.
Sure. Pencils of Promise was established more than 12 years ago. I was not the founder. Our founder, Adam Braun, had an amazing vision. He wanted to ensure that every child had access to a quality education. And I think most of us here listening on would agree. It should be regardless of what circumstances you're born into. And so POP, over more than a decade, has been able to serve over 100,000 students. We've built over 500 schools around the globe in Laos, Guatemala, and in Ghana. And I'm proud to say, as CEO, I've had the luxury and the pleasure and honor to have visited all of our countries and all of our teams on the ground. And the work we're doing is impactful, amazing, and life-changing.
That's amazing. You know, I always talk about money not buying happiness, but it allows you to shop. And my wife and I, the best thing we've ever shopped for were the community centers in Africa through the Unstoppable Foundation. And
Mhm.
obviously we built a lot of schools as well. And with Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey and these great leaders of our world, thought leaders, contributing to building more, we have to get Pencils of Promise over to our charity because we need implementing
Yes.
partners with that experience for high schools and colleges and other education that we're doing. You know, with that experience, though, we've now kind of refocused back into America because I think at most our educational system is in dire need of a
Absolutely.
restructure. And, you know, I think about stories that, you know, the schools that I've gone into, and these are subtleties that people need to know because you've seen it in all those places before. You know, what happens to this highly actualizing young man or woman who wants to be a judge. They want to be a
Right.
senator, they
Of
want to be a
course.
doctor, right? And
Whatever
they're
they
good,
dream and want to be.
yeah, and they're good kids, and then what happens is this whole thing happens here, just puts us into a third world situation, right? You don't have a school, so
Yeah.
now we don't give them food, right? We don't give them a computer to access the information.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So now this kid who wants to learn more than anything, right? While
Right.
these entitled kids are sitting around playing Xbox half the day, don't even appreciate all the 16 million access items they have.
Yeah.
Now this kid wants to do it. He starts getting frustrated because, you know, there's no food and nothing. So then he goes out on the streets. By the time he's 18, right, he ends up, you know, in a situation where he may have to support a child and all. And
Absolutely.
then this poor kid who would have ended up a judge, a doctor, a senator, ends up in jail, literally. And if we don't think this is a problem, if you're not thinking in segmented years of 20 years from now, you're not giving to Pencils of Promise and to other institutions that are providing our children the access that they need and the food they need, we're in big trouble.
I couldn't agree more. I cannot listen. I'm a New York native, born and raised in New York, to two amazing parents, and we grew up in poverty. So as I think about what has happened in our world with COVID-19 and just all the inequities, imagine that being amplified in country. You know, I think about my own two kids, 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. They've had the luxury, very much the way you described, where they had Wi-Fi and iPads and laptops. They have a mom who's CEO by day and school teacher by day, who's been able to support them. And then you think about the pop kids that we're serving around the globe that don't have those same luxuries. And so really thinking as an organization how we support them during these uncertain times and how we ensure when they're able to go back to school that they're met where they're at and they're supported. And those are things that I encourage everyone listening on to think about, because while we've seen it play out here in our backyard, it's amplified in country.
Yeah, and last question, real quick, because I get this with the Unstoppable Foundation. I'm the chairman there, and we do a lot of work outside of the United States.
Of course.
And people always ask me, Dave, there's so much to be done in our own
Of
country.
course.
Why? And I always say, first of all, I'm an abundant person. Do both. Do
Do
both
both.
to your capability. And the reason I say do both is it affects us. We're a world community, and we're a
Absolutely.
world economy. And, you know, when people get desperate and live in scarcity and not enough, bad things happen. Good, desperate people do bad things. It's just a rule of law.
It's
The
unfortunate.
desperate, good people do bad things. And I understand it and forgive it. But I
Right.
understand it and forgive it. You know, for you, how do you answer that question? You know, hey, you know, Tanya, why would I support the whole world, not just the United States?
I mean, I'll tell you that you answered it beautifully. I say it in a very similar way. Much of my career has been focused on domestic education. When I had the pleasure and the honor to be appointed CEO at POP, at Pencils of Promise, I recognize we're a global economy. It behooves us to ensure that children around the globe have the same level of access that your kids and my kids have. I think, if anything, if you think about what's happened with COVID-19, it has really answered why it's so important to ensure that we're all working at education, health, all of the other crises that we can face as a global world, and we have to face it together. So I think now more than ever, with everything we've seen happen with COVID-19, we would want to dedicate the time, the resources, and the efforts to ensure every child around the globe has the same level of access to education that your children have, that my children have, that the children of those listening in have. And I think now more than ever, we have to think about how we're prioritizing, right, our next generation. This is going to put us back so far when you think about COVID-19. I'm sure you're familiar with the summer slide. There's research that shows, right, a child can lose upwards to 6 months of learning just in the summer. Imagine what our kids are losing around the globe with all of their school closures. How do we ensure that they're being supported during this time? And how do we ensure we support them when they return to school? At Pencils of Promise, we have been in contact with teachers. We've been in contact with our communities. We're providing WASH facilities. One of our programs, our WASH program, now more than ever, has shown the importance of washing your hands, right? Especially with COVID-19. And that's kept many of our children around the globe safe and healthy. So POP is working daily to ensure that we're communicating with our communities. We have great relationships with the Ministry of Education in those countries. We are pushing out content on mobile phones, right? We're communicating with the teachers, but we're also communicating with the families of the children that we work with, and being able to push reading content so that they can read off of their parents' mobile phone. Again, just thinking about innovative ways to keep them engaged and supported.
Well, I appreciate all of that. People have to go to @Pencils of Promise. What's the website for Pencils of Promise?
Sure, it's pencilsofpromise.org. People can feel free to reach out to me, Tanya Ramos. My information's on the website. We have an amazing gala coming up October 22nd. That's virtual, and I hope everyone tunes in. You can find more information out on the website.
Awesome. We will be there. Let me know how I can be of service and support. You're doing great work. Let's empower and educate our world. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Tanya.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
I get teary-eyed. It's so important to me. Gosh, you think about the whole world. You know, what's interesting is Gary Vaynerchuk gave me advice about marketing in sports a while back with Tillman Fertitta, who wrote the foreword to my book. He said, Tillman, you know, you should send out to everybody, 6-year-olds, every 6-year-old a jersey, a Rockets jersey. And so, you know, I let the Chargers know the same thing with everything with the new stadium. Hey, you know, if you really want to spend your marketing dollars, send a Herbert jersey to every single 6-year-old in LA, Orange County, and San Diego, and you will secure your future. You know, look, Samsung, Apple, if you're listening, let's send an iPhone or an iPad to every single 6-year-old on earth, and let's change the world. That's an investment, because if you don't think that's going to help empower them, and they will be buying your device for the rest of their life, and their kids' devices and their classes and businesses' devices from you. I can't think of a better marketing investment using some great ideas in sports marketing and transferring over to world marketing. Anyway, let's take another question here. I know we're right on Steve Summers. I think I saw you coming on there. Steven, where are you? We're talking about the superheroes. Let me see if he's here real quick. I thought I saw his name pass by. Thank you, everyone, for joining me, giving me these questions. There he says, I'm here. I'll pop him in. I'm so glad, everyone. Remember, join me Friday for more questions. byoq, you put the thumbs up. He's like, Dave did it.
I'm here. This is great. Wow.
Yeah.
Your previous guest was unbelievable. I was hooked listening to you guys there. I was nearly in tears myself. I was like, wow, this is great.
I know, I'm so emotional, you know, and I get like some of these people come on and I'm like, oh, don't cry. My girls are going to make fun of me again. But, you know, I had to get on to Stephen Summers with the Marketplace of Superheroes. Give us a little bit of background.
Yeah, so I am in Ireland, as you might have guessed with my
strange
accent. Yeah, and so we teach people all over the world how to sell on Amazon, and we've been doing it for 5 years now. We run a freight company as well, so we help our membership from the Far East, typically over to the US, as well as Europe here and Australia. So I've been selling on Amazon now for over 10 years now. My business partner, since the dawn of mankind, he's been selling on Amazon, and yeah, that's what we do. And I'm just delighted to be here to share whatever value I can. Obviously, with your background, Dave, I've been heavily impressed with what you're up to. It's great stuff. Wow.
I've been
It's
blessed
an
to do
honor.
work. I've been blessed to do work in Ireland and pre-Amazon days with Leslie Buckley there and Aircom, and been to Ennis, the town,
Ah,
technology town, which was amazing. They put high-speed access into every home and business there to see the economic effect of that. And Tolo, my dear friends, John
you have
Moores.
been.
Yeah.
Listen, you're not just one of these guys that says you've been places. You've been places.
Oh yeah, Waterford and in Dublin, of course. But Dave McCord and I are doing some work as well as advising small businesses across the world and entrepreneurs. One of the things just amazes me is Amazon. But you've been involved a long time, and I've been as a consultant and a business advisor
Yeah.
around it a long time. It's changed. There's a lot more challenges as Amazon loves to scoop up their own products. They kind of gathered the
Yeah.
Walmart and Costco white labeling and blocking and manipulating and making it really
Yeah.
difficult. So I know that being an Amazon consultant in an Amazon business, you really have to be on top of multitudes of issues determined upon
Yeah.
the category. What are some of the things where you see opportunities for an individual freelancer around the world that wants to either utilize the Amazon distribution or their own drop shipping? Where do you see the biggest opportunities moving forward where Amazon isn't closing off? Or, my philosophy of Amazon is
Yeah.
they let the marketplace build and then they take it. That's been my.
Yeah. Sure. I think as well, like, I mean, yeah, I take all that on. I mean, I would say, so there's a scene in the, Jay Abraham talks about this. It's in the Indiana Jones movies, right? Indiana Jones is like, he's there, this guy comes down, looks like he's going to kill him. And then all of a sudden, Indiana Jones just takes out a gun and shoots the guy. Now, it's a little bit of a rough scene, but the idea is that we changed the game. And I think with ourselves, the way we look at Amazon is, sound's gone crazy here. The way we look at Amazon, I think, is very different to how others look at Amazon, Dave. With our members, we typically get involved in products that are boring, that are not exciting in any way, and we're looking to sell a simple, boring products in multiple countries at the exact same time. So we've really got ourselves in a situation where our members start with these very simple, boring products. Like a good example we were just looking at today is a shepherd's hook. Now, I've never bought a shepherd's hook in my life, but these are things people buy on Amazon, 94-inch shepherd's hook. So I think the point is that with your Amazon, what products are you scooping up? You're scooping up the high volume, high turnover products that everybody's pushing because there's a lot of volume on the platform. We go a different way. We get into products that are lower volume. We sell in multiple Amazon countries at the exact same time, using their fulfillment services in multiple countries at the exact same time. And that's where I see the opportunity for people over the next number of years. It's in products that are not exciting, that are boring, that you can get into and you can sell. And I think that's the difference. Most people who have been in the Amazon space for a long time, Dave, they talked about, you want to get in, you want to push that product hard, hard, hard. And then what you want to do is you want to push it some more. And then you want to build this big, 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 huge brand. And I get that, because when you want to build a brand, Amazon was a great distribution channel. So I think as well, coming back a step, the real question is, what business am I in? Am I building a brand and I'm using Amazon as one of my forms of distribution? Or am I just looking to build a simple business selling products globally on Amazon, and in time then take my best items and move to a brand on my own platform? That's the difference, really. We start with the simple product approach, though.
That's an amazing approach. It's kind of how on my side I help people build brand, because it takes confidence and patience.
Yeah.
And one of the things is looking at those products worldwide. How do you determine? Do you test to see what products would be good, simple products, or is there some other indicator that you use?
See, Dave, you're a smart guy. I knew you'd ask that question. That's a very good question. And so we have a very involved research process, basically, is the short answer. But what we do is we typically start our research process in the US, in .com. It's the most advanced market. It's the one where obviously there's the most amount of products. There's actually still a very big catalog gap between Amazon.com and between the other markets. So we start there, we research there, and then what we do is we identify, well, what's working in the US now, and then we bring those items and we just simply add into distribution to multiple countries at the same time. And so so basically there are certain products that we might look at that do well in the US, but you know, there's no global play for this product at all. I'll give a kind of a crass example of that. Might be like a US flag, right? It would sell great in the US, maybe not quite as well over here in Ireland, although some people would buy them. But you know, it's like that kind of thing. So we're looking at, okay, let's start in the US. It's the most competitive. If it works there, it can work in other countries. And so what we did to help with this, one of the biggest challenges people have then, I just realized I'm really shiny. I'll take those off. What we did to help with this was we built a freight company, because one of the challenges people would say to us is, well, guys, I know that you talk about selling globally, but hey, how am I going to get my products to Europe? How am I going to get my products to Australia?
Yeah, you just answered my next question. That was my next question. How do you do that?
Yeah, because it was freight forwarders you would have had to have used before, and they're expensive, useless as well.
Look, freight forwarders are one of the biggest liars next to lawyers and insurance. Like I've never seen so many trucks that break down when oh my gosh, sorry, the driver broke down. Like people get lost. It's such BS. It's impossible.
It's so funny. You're so right, because it's like we had a shipment one time and I was like, hey, where's the shipment? And it was coming to Belfast. And he said, oh yeah, no, it's in Dublin. I said, really? It's in Dublin. It was in Rotterdam, in Holland. It was nowhere near where my thing was. Anyway, I could tell you a million stories. I'm sure you've got a million. So we set out on this journey a good few years ago to say, how do we make it easy for our members to ship things globally? So what we did was we have a warehouse in Houston, Texas, as I mentioned. It's 30,000 square feet. And what we did was we built an online app for our members where they can basically go on, tell us about their shipment, tell us about their supplier, and then all through the online app. And what we would then do is we connect with the supplier and we basically put their stock onto our containers. So we have a whole bunch of our members all commingled on our containers, and then we ship them over to our warehouses in the different countries. So we're able to save our members a whole bunch of money to do that, but also it's easier for them to be able to expand globally. So at the same time as us doing that, our members are then sending a quantity of their stock into Amazon's warehouses. Amazon hold them in stock on your behalf. You make sales, Amazon ship it out on your behalf. The mistake everyone made, Dave, for many years was what? They shipped all their inventory into Amazon, and Amazon kind of said, we're not really a warehouse. We're a fulfillment center. We don't want all your stock. Give us the best stuff. So that's why we really help people, because you can send a smaller quantity of stock into Amazon, and as your business grows, you can send in more. It's less storage costs with us and stuff like that as well.
And so I assume that you're making your margins over what, number one, Amazon costs are, because they're so extraordinary to house product, freight product, et cetera, and being able to scale that and aggregate it with other products. Last question real quickly. What a phenomenal business. I'm going to be reaching out to you and have many customers. We're going to have to be affiliate partners, my friend, because I have so many. So let's think, because I get approached all the time with really good products like this. And I'll give you an example. Toenail fungus remover. So I'm gonna go right to the basics of, nobody would think that's a glamorous product, right? A product that maybe developed, if I'm getting that made in China, would I have it shipped directly to you to you, right? I wouldn't send it to America, then to Houston and back.
So what you would do there is you would contact us, let us know where your factory is, and then we tell you, hey, we'll take it from here. We'll ship it to our place where we are in China. We go to 2 ports, and then basically we'll bring it into the US. We'll hold it in our warehouse, and you would say, okay, guys, I'm going to send in 100 units into Amazon. You would just do that. We'll then do all the work in the warehouse for you. We'll send it in. It's in stock in Amazon now, and they have it available. Let's say you have another 400 units left over. We'll store the 400, and we charge you per cubic foot, just like Amazon, but we just charge less than Amazon do. And so, we were able to save people money there, but also...
And are you giving advice on pricing, where to sell it? Or you're doing all that as well, so they don't just...
Yeah, definitely. And by the way, it's so funny, isn't it? It's that some of the best businesses were people who, they were happy to take out the garbage for you, right? People don't like to be in those businesses. There's a lot of money in those businesses,
Well, especially, here's what's so interesting, and we'll end on this note, because people still are trying in America to get used to this. And I'll use Indiana because it's the most classic of counties. Indiana is a state here in the United States. They built their state with the courthouse in the middle of each county, and then all the businesses around the courthouse, the diner, the lawyer, the barbershop. And then there's 300,000 people average in a county, and those businesses would do really well, right?
Yeah.
And but they could not, only one guy could take the garbage out, but he'd do really well if he's willing
Yeah.
to do it. So then what happened was we created this online stuff, and people are still getting used to, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can live in Indiana and sell my beverage cooler all over the United States, right?
All over the world.
Well,
Yeah.
now they can't. So where people can't even fathom, like even building their own brand, 4.4 billion people. They can't, because they're still kind of, my dad and I built this business with 300,000 people possibly buying my stuff, right?
Yep.
And they were happy, because that's a lot
Sure.
of people. But what they don't understand is, hey, I'm an elevator shaft hook person, or your shepherd hook. We did, you'll love this. I sold in Ireland sheep dipper.
Oh God!
Yeah, like because they used to dip.
I have to watch you. I don't know what you were selling. You could be
John Moore's in Tolo. We came up with this great idea to dip sheep in in a trailer. It's a mobile sheep dipper. Big business though. But when you're selling stuff, we wanted to do camel dippers in Dubai. Right, same trailer. But now we can do that. So I think, the biggest lesson before I let you go is, look, the world is your stage. And people like Steven are the conduit. They're the producers of the stage to put your act on the stage and sell tickets for you. Is that a good analogy?
I love that analogy. Listen, everything you say is full of wisdom. So that was brilliant. And yes, we're here to help anyone we can. And thanks, man, for having me on.
I'm reaching out. We're going to do a lot of business, man. I got a lot of weird stuff I want to sell and a lot of good companies that come to me. Let's go global.
Great.
All right.
We'll do the toe fungus. I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks, man. Take care. Bye-bye. Steven, what a great business. Go ahead. Obviously, reach out anytime if you want to go global with your products. That's a great business. Anywhere, anytime. Steven J. Summers, Somers. All right, I saw my dear friend here. Next, Elizabeth Streisand. Barbara Streisand's one of my favorite. Broadway Roulette. Here we go. This is so much fun today. What great guests. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Make sure you join me tomorrow. Text me 949-298-2905 or david@dmeltzer.com. Bring your own questions, because I'm running out of questions here in time. How are you, Elizabeth?
Fine, how are you?
Very well. Tell me a little bit about Broadway Roulette.
Yeah, we're in an interesting time. Broadway Roulette is effectively Priceline for theater. We were growing at about 150% year over year for 3 years. And then on March 12th, Broadway was no more. And will be no more for probably until between March and May of 2021 is the estimate. So the original business was effectively Priceline for theater. You go onto our site, you tell us when you want to go, how many tickets you want, you set some parameters about things you like and things you definitely don't want to see. And then you pay us a flat fee up front. And then the morning of your show, you get a text and an email that tells you like the surprise show that you're seeing. You get a great deal. We have an algorithm that matches you. So basically like takes all the guesswork out and puts you in something you're going to enjoy.
And
which is not what we're doing right now.
I was going to say, and it's kind of like an enhanced tickets. I mean, beautiful idea. Tell me how you adjusted and pivoted just through this period of time till we get to the post-vaccine mass gathering era. Being in the sports marketing side, I completely appreciate and empathize. I just saw a lot of my friends lost their job from CAA.
Yeah.
There's so many downstream effects of what's going on, but a lot of people have been able to pivot and create some new great entertainment and give access to it. What are you guys doing?
So I did not furlough or fire anyone. I've hired people who are overqualified and more creative than the jobs they were necessarily hired for. So we all kind of sat around the table and said, all right, so what can we sell tickets to when there's nothing to sell tickets to? And also, like, what are we collectively good at that other people in our industry aren't that good at? Because we don't want to compete with the other people in our industry doing like live streams of performances, because that's not us. We will lose that battle. And so, you know, we sat around for like maybe a couple days coming up with ideas. The things we decided we were best at were drinking, talking, and crafting. And we put those three things together and came up with this idea called the Broadway Roulette Mixer. And it is what it sounds like. It is a mixer. So you grab your cocktail and you sit in front of your computer, and it's 45 minutes. And you get 3 surprise Broadway guests, and you don't know who they're going to be in advance. And they come in, and we have a host, and the host kind of does a little Q&A. The vibe is very like, watch what happens live. It's structured so that you don't have to know anything about the shows that these people are coming from in order to enjoy it. And then there's some surprise performances, and you're allowed to ask kind of whatever you want. It's like Reddit, ask me anything. They're not recorded. It's set up so you can't record it. And because of that, we can like hear inside stories that you would never get in like a more formal situation. And I think, you know, the things about that are kind of silver linings for us. One is that in fundraising and potential acquisitions, one thing that always comes up is, oh, Broadway's only a $2 billion market. I'm so bored. Like, show me something in pets or cat or weddings. And this really enabled us to show that it's not specific to, you don't have to be in New York to enjoy this. Anyone can do this. And also it's not special. Right now it's specialized for theater lovers because that's our current audience base. But like, you could do this for reality TV, you could do this for sports, you could do this for like anything that has sort of a loyal fan base that misses going. And so that kind of fixed the TAM. So that was great. And you know, the other piece of it is that I think even after shows come back and sports come back and all that stuff is up and running again, it's going to be very different in terms of audience and customer access to the talent. Like, there will be no more backstage for a very, very long time. Stage door probably won't exist. I see this as an ancillary business where once you've gone and seen Chicago, you can then pay to do a mixer with 3 people from Chicago, and you and your friends can like talk to the people who are in the cast. And it could become like a marketing tool for shows and for other industries that are, you know, once the doors open back up, everyone doesn't just magically appear, unfortunately. They're going to have to kind of come up with new creative ways to convince people to return. And I think this could be a great tool for that.
So Elizabeth, you are a textbook example of what people should do during compressed times of uncertainty and accelerated change. I just want to ask a quick question of your background, because I want people to go back and watch this. I've been, you know, coaching and teaching people for years and years and years, especially now during these times. And you are the classic textbook example of taking your capabilities, making and seeing how they're synergistic or supplementary to the opportunities that are doing well right now. But also, you know, from number one, seeing, you know, one thing that I saw is what a great opportunity to buy low, meaning what can I buy low right now? Because emotionally people oversell. Well, talent, you know, I've been through 13 years of buying high, right? I can't tell you how pathetic the talent has been and how non-negotiable they've been, because they could easily get a job, right? And I'm spending more time teaching people to be qualified than just hiring in the old days qualified people. And they have an attitude, right? And they have this attitude. I love the fact that you started out saying, well, first, Dave, I went and got some really great people that are overqualified, which we haven't been able to do forever. And then you said, I could have done this, but that's not what our capabilities are. We're drinkers, we're networkers. We're
social.
Beautiful.
We're basically a group of social women who have varying levels of tech capabilities, mine being 0 and everyone else having a little. You know, we knew that we were going to have to work over like a Zoom style platform. I had watched a lot of other companies try to put like Instagram Live, like concerts on and things like that. And like, I'm not engaged by that. Other people might be, but I am not. But watching somebody just do like a chat over Zoom felt like something like that's what Zoom was built for. So let's just use it for what it's built for instead of trying to like smash this thing in, which is just going to be like a watered down, less good version that reminds us how much we miss the actual thing we can't do. Sitting around and having a chat on Zoom is something that, you know, 6 months ago, you could never get the Tony winning lead actress to do that with you. And now you can. And so we should take advantage of that.
So are you expanding and protecting? And if I were you, I'd be grabbing every single sports domain, baseball roulette, football roulette, whatever you can roulette, because I do think that you've created a roulette platform that, and I think in my career, you know, speaking and masterminds and things like that, we're going to have a huge market even after we're able to mass gather again. And I'm preparing for that. Are you preparing to go outside of the Broadway core competencies and relationships you have into these other areas?
Yeah, so my dream, I am a huge Love Island fan.
Oh, really?
I'm
I've had a couple
obsessed.
Love Island people on here.
I'm truly obsessed with it. When in my spare time, I like don't go to Broadway shows, even when Broadway is open. Part of why I founded my company is I wasn't a super theater fan, so I never knew what to see. So like anything I saw, I thought was great. I'm like, there's other people like me. I am a super Love Island fan. So I look at all those people. I've started like looking through all the Instagrams of all the people from past seasons who have now like 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers, like not millions, but enough that I can fill a room with 25 people who will pay $15 to ask them about something that happened on the show 4 years ago, because I would do that all day long. I would be so excited to talk to any of them. And so that just kind of like, that's like the light bulb moment. And it also actually gave me an interesting perspective of when I'm on the Zoom calls, I do some of the hosting. And when I'm hosting and I see people just lose their minds when someone comes in, I'm like, oh, this is what they feel like. Like if Amber from Love Island appeared, this is what I would be like. And so that's been really nice. I think that there's a lot of natural progression into like, I think reality TV is the next like step for us, because there is a lot of crossover and a lot of those people go to Broadway. So there's a natural place for us to start with like, hey, remember when you were in Chicago for 2 weeks? Like, can you be in our mixer? And so that's the dream. People talk about sports and I'm like, yeah, we should do sports, but I also have zero idea who anybody is in sports. So I'm going to need someone else to help me with that. Like Love Island, I could do myself.
I could be a great partner for you. I'm thinking when I started building my own brand, I'm close friends with Bob Guiney, who's one of the first bachelors. And it used to crack me up because it was like 20 years ago, right? And we go around the world traveling, and these women would come up to Bob like he was, you know, the Hall of Fame quarterback. Like they'd freak out, you know, and that's the exact place. And, you know, it's weird for me now that I've built a brand myself in kind of that context. You know, it's such an anomaly that someone would come up and be, oh my God, like nervous to talk to you and so excited. And that's what I love about these individualized platforms, because it does allow people to access people that they want to access backstage. And you've nailed it. I'm really excited about what you're doing. I'd love to help you on the sports side. I probably have.
I definitely
have to
need
ask
help on
you
the
this
sports
question,
side.
though. And I'm happy to introduce you to all the Love Island people. I know so many of them. So
you will definitely be getting an email from me.
I got to ask you this
we have
question.
soap operas. Yes, we could do soap operas. Correct. I think
That's
anything that has like that niche audience. To me, I think, you know, the secret sauce that people haven't cracked, like there's nothing proprietary about what I'm doing, but the thing that's missing from so many of those like meet and greet things, even in person, is a good facilitator. There are so many people that are like great on camera and great performers, but actually not good off the cuff, which I knew from being a celebrity journalist for a decade before this. And so having someone who can like lead the conversation so the talent's immediately comfortable and it feels like you're having a normal conversation instead of just like these kind of pre-canned answers, which can be so hard to get out of. I think that that's the piece that is, it's not proprietary, but it is hard to replicate. I think you need experience in that to know how to do it, how to pick people, how to do it, how to train people how to do it. And there's fewer and fewer people that actually know that kind of, it's like a lost art.
I agree. It's I call it the tell me interviews. The ones like, so tell me, Elizabeth. Anyway, you're an exceptional interview, obviously. I got to ask you one question because my audience will be pissed if I don't. Do you have any relations to Barbara Streisand?
Yes,
you do.
I do.
You just don't look like her, right?
Well, it's by marriage.
Oh, really?
She's the first cousin of my father-in-law.
Right. Well, I will tell my
like
wife. We're both.
When he was in his 20s, he was like trying to set her up on dates with his friends, things like that.
Oh, I wish I was there. Well, thank you so much. Check out Broadway Roulette. We're going to be working together. I'll take on the sports roulette
Awesome.
side of it.
Thanks for
And you
having
are
me.
incredible. You're an
Thank
amazing
you.
entrepreneur, by the way.
Oh,
Textbook.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Talk to you soon. All right, Elizabeth Duran Streisand. That is an entrepreneur. What she did to create and to build her business, hasn't furloughed anyone, fired anyone. She used her capabilities, made them synergistic and supplementary to what was available and doing well today, and building an entire business for the future. You know, those are the type of entrepreneurs I invest in. Winners win. She's going to win. Don't forget to ask me these questions tomorrow, Friday, every Friday, free training for over 20 years. Now we've gone online with it. One of the great benefits of this situation is we have built thousands and thousands of people in our own niche audience at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern every Friday. You can catch the replay on the playbook. If you haven't checked Danica Patrick out, please do so. It was a great episode. Or training on Monday. Those was when we repeat those replays as well. So please register. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or text me into our community, 949-298-2905. Also, if you want free books, free exercises, guides, anything's available. I'm going to take one more question today, but tomorrow I'm going to take everybody's questions. So please join me tomorrow. Register, david@dmeltzer.com. Please, we would love to have you. And best of all, it's free. If it's free, it's not only me, it's you too. All righty, here we go. How to determine value. Value is determined upon taking inventory of your values. Value is determined by you. And so your ability to articulate values based upon your personal experiential giving and receiving values, and how you articulate a value determines value. So if I can articulate the value of my service, solution, or product to be X, then X is the value. If what? If somebody's willing to pay X. So there's the formula of value. You determine the value by how well you can articulate the value and get someone to share that vision. Once they share the vision, what someone's willing to pay for something is its true quantitative value. Your ability to articulate that quantitative value and share that vision is the equation that equals value. Thank you, everybody, so much. Please remember, you got more questions. They're all in there. We're here every day, but 11 a.m. tomorrow, every Friday, come join me live. Bring your own questions, put them in, just send me questions, put them in. We'd love to have them, and we will answer them. Okay, let's just power through them tomorrow. Fast, rapid answers to help everybody, hopefully give you the insight, leveraging the situational knowledge, advice, relationships, and dummy tax that I've paid. Please join me. And if you miss it, just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or text me. I'll give you the replay, 949-298-2905. Those are available from all the other sessions we've done as well. Remember, everybody, most importantly, thank you to all my extraordinary guests. What great entrepreneurs, what great ideas and execution. Elizabeth, you really surprised me. Unbelievable entrepreneur. I'd love to work with her as well. Stephen as well. We just nailed it today. Thank you all. Remember, everybody, most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. See you tomorrow.